This is the Drew Experience, the show that's 80% combat sports and 20% everything else. It's back to combat sports, but with boxing this time. And I have a very unique guest tonight. His story is out of a storybook, like, or a movie. You don't get this kind of guy every day with his ethnicity, which he'll tell you. He is a pro boxer, 2-0 in Las Vegas, hailing out of Israel, so representing all the tribe members who get that joke. So you're kind of a hero. I'm super proud to welcome pro boxer David Alverdian. Welcome, David.
Thank you for having me.
How's it been for you with everything going on with COVID?
It's been tough. It's been really tough because I haven't boxed in 2020 at all. Like this was like last time I fought was actually more than a year ago. Yeah, it was a year ago.
That's
My
that's
last
that's
fight.
crazy. So like, imagine like, is like the rest real? Like does the muscle having the muscle memory like help when you get back into it?
No, I definitely helped because I was still training. I wasn't doing too much, but I still had certain kind of workouts. I did a lot of shadow boxing, some weights, and just something very basic.
It's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. And like, you're 2-0. So, but before we get into that, you have a very interesting background because you're half Israeli and half Armenian. So basically you really are, as the joke goes, Jewish. Cause, yeah. So, how did your parents meet exactly?
During the Soviet Union, there's a lot of basically there's a lot of Jewish people everywhere, and my mom, she's the whole family on my mother's side are Jewish, and she was in Belarus. And the Soviet Union, they basically had the Kafkas countries as well. So my father, he was he was working a cruise ship after his military service, and my mom went there with some delegation of good students or something. And yeah, my dad saw her, he liked her, and started like treating her nicely over there. And yeah, the rest is history.
I have something crazy to tell you. My mom's side is like Belarusian too, like Russian with Belarus. They're from Minsk. The family name is Litwin, so they're all in
Mhm.
Canada. But that's crazy. Yeah, Belarus has a lot of like Russian Russian Jews that are from there, and
That's true.
they all fled. They all went to like say North America or a lot of them Israel. So you were born in Israel, right?
Yeah, I was born there. Yeah,
Which city were you born in?
Naharia. It's a very small city. It's like 10 minutes by car from the border with Lebanon.
Okay, so you're in the north, like where Haifa is.
Yeah, not far, not far. About 30 minutes from Haifa.
I love that part of Israel. Like, I hate the South. I despise the South. It's too hot. I hate it. Like, it's like everyone's like, I go to Eilat. I go to Eilat. Yeah, but Eilat's too hot. It's like there's a level of hot I can tolerate. Jerusalem is kind of, well, it's holy, and then Tel Aviv is kind of like the New York, Montreal, Vegas of Israel, and the north has kind of got like that nice quietness. So did you? There's a lot of minorities around there, such as the Druze. There's the Baha'i Gardens. So you must have grown up around like all the other ethnicities in your childhood.
Yeah, yeah, that's everything, especially in boxing, because you have all the minorities over there in that sport. It's not just in the U.S. where the minorities do boxing. It's over there in Israel as well.
Why do you think? Okay, so Israel is like, no, should be like a combat sports powerhouse because of the military service, Greco-Roman, judo, and now MMA. But why do you think, as a boxer, like Israel just can't seem to get to that next level where people like are like acknowledging them, where they're kind of like Israel? It's like okay, like that's how I like the world kind of looks at them, but got killers. Like there's you, like up, like who's a pro 2-0. There's some MMA fighters. So what do you think that is?
It's it's really hard to answer. I think it comes a lot of because boxing just in general it's a very very corrupt sport, especially the amateurs. If you don't win medals, the government will not fund the boxing. To win medals, your country has to come with money to pay for you to win. I know it sounds crazy, but this is the truth. The officials, everything is being bought. Like if you see the Russians, they just buy everything, and not just Russia, like many other countries as well. Just very, very corrupt from mm, for centuries. It is from its core. So if somebody comes, brings few medals for Israel in the Europeans, Worlds, or even the Olympics, and it would cost money, then everything will change. I guarantee it.
I definitely think that's something that should be, because it's kind of a shame that Israel, like, because the Jewish people like are known for thriving in combat sports. As mentioned, I said judo, Greco-Roman wrestling. We've had guys in Bellator like the Ghazali father and son duo, and now Natan Levy in the UFC, and now there's you in boxing. So, and I think that would really give the Jewish people like some hope to show like, hey, we have athletes that can compete in combat sports, and fighting is the truest form and expression of sport. So when you were growing up in Nazariya, that's how you say it?
No, Naharia, Naharia.
Naharia. So when you're growing up in Naharia and all the minorities you saw, um, who was what do you think really got you to choose boxing over, say, like kickboxing, or say like Krav Maga or judo?
So we don't have judo in Naharia,
Mhm.
and just in general, my father, he kind of forced me into boxing, right? So I didn't really have a choice. So he sent me to there. I didn't really like it at first. I quit, went back in, quit back in, but I was pretty natural. Like I was never afraid of getting hit. So uh, in that sense, you could tell I had some talent, and yeah, that's why pretty much I chose boxing. And there was not really too much minorities over there in Aria. It's a really small city, so pretty quiet as well.
Yeah, it's like a very spread out, that part of Israel, like the north, like it's so spread out. It's kind of like Vegas in California in a sense. Um, did you have any boxing heroes, or like who were your combat sports heroes or movie heroes growing up to get you into that got you to continue boxing?
I wouldn't say like heroes. I definitely watched the Rocky series, man. They were pretty epic and all. But when I quit a few times. I wasn't really a fan of boxing. I wasn't watching boxing at all when I was a child. When I was forced to it, but at 18, so I didn't even youth through the. I didn't fight through the youth years, which is like 15, 16, 17 years old. I didn't even box, so I quit, and then I came back at 18, but that was my decision. And I was watching at that time. I remember Lomachenko. He was he just won his world championships amateur, which is 2011, I think it was. And I was like, wow, this guy's sensational. And so aside from that, and then I was starting to watch old fights of different guys. And yeah, I wouldn't say I have like somebody that I really fancied, but I watched everything definitely.
That's amazing. Now, your background is very unique because not only are you Jewish, but you're also Armenian. So, with that background, do you kind of feel, in a sense, like you have to represent like two like groups of people who culturally have been what's the word, like they've suffered a lot, like the Jews, like the Holocaust and World War II, and the Armenian genocide of 1904, like 1915, 16, that
9:15.
no one,
Yeah.
yeah, then no one ever talks about. So my dad actually is Iranian Assyrian, so we're part we did lose some like ancestors in that genocide to the Turks. So as a boxer, do you feel like you carry that weight, like that it motivates you to represent those two countries, like for what they've been through in history?
No, I don't feel like it. I do feel like a cockroach. Both my both nationalities went through a genocide and a Holocaust, and we're still surviving. So I don't know, nothing gonna stop me definitely. But I don't feel like I have to represent both or something like that. I do love both my sides, the Armenian side and the Jewish side. I accept them the same way. I love them, but obviously Israel is closer to me because I was born there. Most of my friends are from there, so you know,
What was
I
it?
yeah.
No, no, go on. Sorry, I didn't know you were
So
doing your point there.
I just feel like if you ask me where do you feel like where I feel at home, it's definitely Israel.
That's awesome. And when you're in the boxing gym, so like something that like the world likes to show is like they like to kind of look, the media kind of likes to portray Israel as like this apartheid state or like, that discriminates. But when you're growing up there, like I'm for sure you had like Arab speaking like children, Palestinians coming into your gym and no one gave a shit really, right? Because martial arts brings everyone together.
Well, they're not Palestinian, but they're just Arabs that live in Israel, and yeah, nobody cares. There's lots of Arab fighters, and we just I have many friends that are Arab boxers, and we're in great. We have great friendship.
That's what I think is important to show because, like, as I said, as I was saying, the media loves to portray the like Israel in one way. And I'm not saying this to sound pro, but it's like at the end of the day, you got to show two sides of every story. And what you just said is amazing because I do believe boxing or any combat sport brings people together because you learn stuff from that. You learn tricks to your craft from them. Maybe they have something that you could make you better, but then you have something that they could get better off of.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but it's when we all train together, it's all love, really. There's no nationalities in the gym.
That's amazing. That's how it should
Yeah.
be. Like everyone, boxing is a universal language. So you've moved out to Vegas, Nevada. So what was that like, and what went into that decision?
So I went to the World Championship. So I came here first few times for training camps, not just myself. Sometimes with other fighters, other boxers from Israel that are in the national team as an amateurs. And in 2015, 19, sorry, I was robbed in Russia, Yekaterinburg, the World Championships. I was robbed there, and I was like, "Oh, okay, I'm done. It's just it's impossible, you know. You just go there, you train, you work your ass off, and then you just go there and just rob you. So I spoke with my manager, who is now and another the attorney general of Israel. The He's retired, but he helped me set it all up as well. And yeah, my manager now, he set it all up for me.
That's impressive. So you were going to tournaments in Russia, like Ekaterinburg. That's a pretty cold place, man.
It
It's
is
pretty.
cold. It is cold.
It's oh man, like because I follow hockey, so like a few hockey players are from there, like Alexei Yashin, Pavel Datsuk. These are legends because I'm from Canada. So there's Ekaterinburg. What other cities in Russia have you visited in your tournaments?
I've been to Kaliningrad. I went to, where did I go? Really hard to answer because I travel so much with the amateur team that you don't even remember. But Yekaterinburg was definitely one of the I loved it over there. I honestly did. It was a good experience. I enjoyed my time over there as well.
That
I could picture myself living there. Really, if the salary over there was better, but yeah, that's not gonna happen.
What's it like over there? Because it's like everybody says it's a different ball game. Because when you look at Europe, there's Western Europe, there's Eastern Europe, which is like former Czechoslovakia, uh, Poland. Like I'm drawing a blank, Moldova, Romania, and then there's Russia. So when you get off at Moscow International or St. Petersburg, what's the life like over there? It must be super different from what you've seen like in America and Israel.
Yeah, it's definitely different. St. Petersburg, I was there as well. I just remembered it's a great city. I enjoyed the time over there as well. But yeah, Yekaterinburg just very cold. Even March time, it was freezing over there. And people are for people that are foreigners, it will take some time to get used to the people. They seem very like just cold in personality. That don't smile, they don't talk too much. You just outside, they look tough. But because my mother is from there and my dad, he's Armenian, but we speak Russian at home, so it's a I feel they're just as home. Like Russian is I would say my second language next to right after Hebrew. So it felt good over there. Like I don't see it as a hostile place. like some people do.
No, I definitely would love to visit there, and the Russians are very hospitable, which many people know. Like you take, as you said, it takes time to get to know them, but when they open their house up to you, oh my God, it's like they treat you like family. They bring,
That's
they
true.
feed you. The hospital. It's like you don't even have to stay in a hotel. Like if they know who you are, they're gonna take care of you.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
So your parents, as you said, now I want to bring it back to your parents again. It's funny you said, because you said Russian is like my second language, Hebrew's my first. When did your parents immigrate to Israel? Was it through the diaspora where like the Russia was allowing the Jews to like immigrate to Israel
Yeah,
in
it
the
was
70s?
no, not 70s. It was right after the Soviet Union collapsed. They immigrated in 91, and I was born in 93.
Okay, okay. I'm born in 91. Okay, because I'm born in November of 91. So yeah, that sounds right about the time, like right when when everything was hitting the fan basically because it was about to
Yeah,
collapse. Like there was like because I took when I took Russian history, I learned about the coup that happened. Like Gorbachev was losing power, then there was like there was like an attempted coup against him, and then Yeltsin assumed power, and then Yeltsin was seen as the one that was going to lead, and
yeah, it
then
was crazy times.
oh my,
Where
it's
you could buy tanks and whatever you like at that time.
it's true. Like apparently like because they're like the ruble collapsed so badly. Like it's like it was so bad the collapse because the like people lost their pension. So then like the army salaries were like it's like they were earning like what like five. It was almost like what $5 a day. Like what if you're what like I'm sure you have your grandparents that told you the story or your parents. Like what's the story about that? Like that from what you were told.
Um, they wouldn't tell me too much, but I did learn the history and everything. And there was a lot of corruption over there with the mafias and everything. So they just left because it was very hard time, especially as Jewish people. You know, they had to go through some racist stuff. So it was way better for them to just immigrate to Israel.
Very true. That's why, and there's like a lot of the Russians from Israel that come to Israel. They normal like now they go everywhere. They go to the north, they go to Tel Aviv, they go to Jerusalem, but a lot of them particularly pick the south. Why is that? Like, why do you think they all go to the south? Like, say Beersheba, or like not Eilat, but Beersheba, Ashdod. Like, there's a lot of Russian Jews that will immigrate to those parts.
So Ashdod is there's a lot of Russian Jews over there, a lot. So I think you just want to be around the people that speak the same language as they are. As for other cities, I'm not sure. Maybe just because it's cheaper or something, but I can't say really.
That's understandable because, like, yeah, Russia, like the Russians, a lot of the immigration has been from the Russians in like the '90s to like the early 2000s, even today. Lovely people, like they're like when I went to Israel like, to the Dead Sea Resort, I was like some of the like I was served like by the Russians, and they're so like they're super efficient. Like they get stuff done. It's crazy, man. Like you guys, like efficiency is in your definition.
I think it's more the Russian Jews. I'm not sure it's the same with Russians.
Do you apply that efficiency in your boxing? Because like you like now you're really doing good. You're 2-0. So what's like so how do you apply what like how do you make your how do you see yourself as an efficient boxer in terms of not only in the ring but outside the ring?
I wouldn't say 2-0 is very something to be proud of because you just starting your career. I am proud of what I've achieved in the amateurs and all the achievements over there and the way I spar. I see myself at the top, but that definitely not the best part of it. And as efficiency, I'm just very disciplined. Like I do whenever I don't want to work and with my diet, even when I don't have any fights coming up, you know, like same with COVID, everything, I was strict with my diet. And I was still training, even though I didn't see no end for this COVID thing. So when I came here to Vegas after almost a year without any sparring, I was doing still pretty good because of my discipline of what I've done when I was not sparring training like properly because my diet was good I still had like this little workouts that I used to do, and yeah, discipline.
That's awesome. No, it's really good. I do see it in your Instagram posts where the meal prepping you do. Like, dude, I gotta be as disciplined as you because I've just like ballooned since COVID, like everybody else. So, and I'm trying to stay in shape any way I can. But yeah, the meal prep is like, it's like you do it so like it's like so clockwork. Like you just do it in a way. So, it's kudos to you for that. And
Thank you,
what do you?
thank you.
And so, and by the way, 2-0, be proud of that because you're doing what 99% only dream of. Everybody wants to be a fighter until they get punched in the face or get that gut punch. Like I do full knockdown karate. I do Kyokushin style karate. And I hear it too. Bro, you do like I was in a clubhouse chat yesterday and this other guy's like, "Hey, can you teach me some karate?" And it's like and I just said like you're an armchair fighter. Don't it's like just don't like I said, I'm not going to answer that question until you ask it like in an appropriate way. Like it's crazy. Like people, I feel like some people, when you tell people you're a fighter, whether you're a boxer or a martial artist, like they talk to you like in a weird way. Like is it just me? Like if you had that too, where they're like you're like I'm a boxer and they're like so are you pro? Like they don't know what to say to you.
There's a lot of people that make weird comments, but I never let it get into me. I'm so calm, like in everything, just my personality. Like it's impossible to piss me off. Really, it is. Yeah, I'm
Exactly.
just very calm person.
Exactly. That's exactly. You're doing everything great. And another thing I want to talk about is like because you're 2-0, so a lot of guys that get 2-0, let's say they get some good bonus, they get some they get some good bonus checks, and they tend to blow their money. But how, as a fighter, are you like keeping careful attention to not only your career but also your earnings, so that way you have you have money put aside for the next chapter?
Oh, I'm Jewish. I don't. It's no problem to store money.
Gotta embrace that stereotype. It's like, oh my god, like I get that all the time, man. I wish I was Jewish. And then like I tell the story to my mom, and my mom's like, that's a bit anti-Semitic. It's like, no, but it's like it's true though. Like we're really good with like with
I don't know. I don't know if Jewish people are really good. It's just stereotype. I was just
yeah,
joking, but
yeah, me
because
too, me
Jewish,
too.
they do know how to spend money. Trust me. As for me, I do store money because I don't know what's coming up next, and especially now it's look, there's no fights, so it's tough.
Very true. And so you're doing great. So other than box, so this is only what you do, right? You don't have like a certain like job, like where maybe like you'll work at the boxing gym or like you do privates. Like, is this what you're putting all your focus in right now?
Yeah, this is all I'm doing. When COVID started, I was working carpentry and I worked in a storage room as well, but not yeah, not anymore. When I came to Vegas, it's only boxing.
Awesome, awesome. Like, and how long do you see your window to compete for? Since now you're what? You're 28 or 27?
27, I'll be 28 pretty soon, and I hope for another 4 years, like 32, 33, probably 32. That's where I want. I think it's enough, but definitely I need a world title.
And you're in what class? You're lightweight, middleweight, super
No,
welterweight?
it's flyweight, flyweight.
Oh, okay. You're a flyweight. Okay, so that's like what,
Yeah,
one?
115, but I will drop more. Like to my two fights were 115, but I lost a lot of weight during COVID because of work, stress, and all that stuff. So I'm gonna drop even lower. We'll see. I'm not sure yet.
Nice, man. So you can get that world title, maybe two world titles to call yourself a champ.
Yeah, yeah, and I want maybe even more because it's not like MMA where they have like what it starts 125, 135, 145, right? In boxing it starts 105, 108, 112, 115, 118, 122. So there's really really small gaps at the lower weight divisions.
Very true. Very, very true, David. Yeah, like it's because I'm an MMA fan and I'm only getting into boxing now. So like I'm trying to learn more like as I get into it. I mean, like my coach, like my coach that does karate is a huge fan of the Russian boxers. I'm a fan of the African American boxers, like the Charlo twins, like those guys. So those
Yeah,
are
they're
like
good.
they are. Yeah, like I like I like the African American boxers because like I feel like they share that like struggle, that commonality of struggle like with the Jewish people. And here's a funny thing. I mean, back in the day, it was boxing like was owned by the Jews, and we had like some very famous boxers like Benny Levin. There's a few others.
There's loads. Yeah.
So the fact of the matter is that like you're of like the new generation, man. You know, kudos to you, man. It's like it's really happy because you really are. You do like maybe you don't realize it, but when people watch this interview, whether they're reform, conservative, or orthodox, or like Chabad, or any of like the other sects of religion, like religious in Judaism, you kind of are giving like the next generation hope because they're gonna see this. They're gonna see you're Israeli because of social media and Jewish, and dude, like you really are doing a good thing, man. Like I really think you are gonna win a title
Thank you.
in the
That's
next
the
3 years.
plan. That's the plan.
That's
I hope
awesome.
it's gonna be like even less, maybe 2 years. That's what I hope. If this whole thing on the whole mess like gets better, because really this COVID thing, it just changed a lot of lives.
It really did. No, like it's just like, and like now with this, like that's why I'm doing this podcast like every day. Like it's just to get my mind off it. Like I have so much content stored away. I have to pick my days where I load the episodes of guests. But it's look, it gives me something to do. You know, the thing is like you don't want to be watching the news constantly of what's going on in the world because it's gonna
Yeah,
drive
yeah,
you
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, that's true. You're gonna go mad.
Or scrolling social media. But when I scroll social media, it's for like it's only for combat sports news. So curating, but yeah, I stay off Facebook. I'm only on Instagram, and now Clubhouse. Apparently that's the new thing. So yeah, if you're looking to build your brand, that's another one you should try.
Clubhouse. I'll check it out.
Yeah, it's really cool. Um, David, I know you're on short for time today because you're gonna go running for a team. So uh, we got like 30 minutes in. I'm really happy with it. You know, next time we'll do an hour maybe if you're down.
Definitely.
And yeah, I know Adam from shout out to Unanimous Decision from my boy Adam Kaplan 13. So if you like boxing and combat sports like MMA, give Adam a follow. Adam Kaplan 13 and the Unanimous Decision. Uh, David, I know you're going to be on there eventually, and I think that's going to be more of a longer form conversation. And then what I can say is like you're gonna have a blast with Adam. He's like my boy. Like I went to camp with him. He's a former. He fought pro in Thailand 2 times. So he understands the pro game, like what you're like grinding with right now. And yeah, man, like I really think you're gonna have a blast on that pod with him.
Cool, cool. And yeah, we definitely should get in touch again. Probably once I get my fight, and we'll see once I know if I'm really fighting. But I think it's gonna be settled.
I think so too. Where can people find you on social media, David, if they ever want to follow you?
It's on Instagram. It's David underscore Alverdian, and I don't really use anything else.
Perfect. So, guys, listen, I'm giving a shout out here to all my tribe members in Montreal, Israel, and elsewhere. When you watch this interview, please, we have a new hope in boxing. This is the first time we've had a new hope in boxing since in a very long time. Who represents the Jewish people? He represents Israel. David Alverdian, please give this guy a follow. He's a future champ. And he's got big things coming him. So please, like, let's band together here and let's give this guy some love he deserves. That's what I want. So guys, David Alverdian, you heard it first. He's going to be a future champ in the future, in the next 2.5 years, maybe. I say two and a
Yeah,
half, but it could be two. Who knows?
that's a plan.
David, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show. Had a blast, and next time you come on, it's gonna be even better.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.